Lasha, hi mikatefet. So lady number one finished kneading, she starts to braid. What happened?
The call came in and stopped it. So
Okay. She mikatefet. She starts to braid it. Vechavreta lasha. So once lady number one, it's just saying the same thing we said before. Once lady number one starts to braid, she finished kneading. Lady number two starts to knead. Lasha tartea. Mekatefet yofa. When lady number one finished the braiding, now she's baking. Chavreta mekatefet. Lady number two starts to braid. Tarteya v'ashlishit lasha. And lady number three starts to knead. Ofahi, when lady number one bakes, lashahi, ofahi, ofa, hi lasha. When she finished baking, she can start a new one. She can become lady number one, and lady number three can not need v'chavrita ofa, and then number two will break v'tarteya, ofa tarteya v'shlishi nekatebet v'chozer l'chandrina. So each one is a little bit delayed from what the first one before them was doing. The Gemara says, כל זמן שעוסקות בבצק אין הבא לידי חימוץ. And the rule is, so long as you're kneading it, so long as you're working it, it won't become chametz. Work it for a long time. The movement of the hands and the playing with it will prevent it from puffing and becoming chametz. Rabbi Akiva omer, lo kol anashim. Rabbi Akiva says, listen, that's not the rule. Tanya, Amar Rabbi Akiva, danti lifnei Rabban Gamliel. I once spoke to Rabban Gamliel, Yilamdenu Rabbeinu, benashim zrizot, benashim shen zrizot. When you told us your rule of 1, 2, 3, was it fast ladies, slow ladies, betzim nachim, is it wet wood, is it dry wood, ubesim yivashim, betanur cham, tanur tzonen, you have a hot oven, you have a cool oven, what's the scenario over here? Amar li, en nicha mashe, listen, it can't tell you. Everything's different. The rule is, do your best, and if it's starting to puff, you put cold water. Mishnah. Seor Yisrof. There are 3 levels in the stages of the dough. Level number 1 in the stage of the dough is it starts to become a little bit white. The dough, when you make it, the Gemara says, the first step after you made the dough in the fermentation process, that it will become chametz, it starts to become a little bit white. Second stage is those cracks, but the cracks are not touching. Third steps is the cracks on the outside are touching each other. Then you can know that the dough is becoming chametz. So here, Tanakama says, Seor Yisrof, Ve'achlo Patur. It's not yet chametz. It got to the point of se'or. Se'or is a fermenting agent. So, for example, a starter, which is called the sourdough. What they do is they get a little bit of dough. It becomes a little sour. It's not bread yet, but it's still not just flour. It's a little bit sourdough. It's sour. It's a starter, and that is called se'or. That could make something else ferment, and that could make something else become chametz very good. So that is the middle case, and the Gemara says, Al-Khlo Patu, you gotta burn it, but you can't eat it. If you can't eat it, you gotta burn it, but if you burn it, it's Patur Avarasu. That means it's Derabanan. According to this opinion, it's Se'or, whatever it is not yet Chametz. It's coming Chametz, but it's not Chametz. Se'or, or Siur, my mistake. Se'or is real Chametz. Yeah. My mistake. Se'or is real Chametz. Siur, what's written over here, is this dough that's almost in the middle. That's getting dangerous. Burn it. If you ate it, don't eat it. If you eat it, patur. You get a punishment, no punishment. Siduk yisaref. Now, if there are cracks on the bread, on the dough, that you gotta burn it. V'auchlo hayav karet. And that is hayav karet if you ate it. That is real chametz. Once you have cracks, that's chametz. Ezu siur. What is siur? Kikarne hagavim. So, the first one, which is still b'derabanan, there's 3 levels, so it's level number 2. It is called, it's like the horns of a hornet, a chagav. Chagav is a grasshopper?
No.
A locust.
A locust. So they have a horn over here, like an antenna over here, an antenna over here, but they're not touching. So you have a crack here. Basically, it's cracks on the bread, but not enough cracks that they're intertwined. Siduk, what is siduk? That we said that it's really chametz. Shnit aribus dakin ze beze. Livrei Rabbi Yehuda. So now if the cracks are intertwining, that's already called chametz. So according to this opinion, when it's puffing, it's white, that's nothing. When it's cracked, that's isur derabanan. And when the cracks are intertwined, that's isur doraita. That is divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Chachamim omrim, by the way, this chachamim is Rabbi Meir. Just in the Braita, we call them chachamim. Chachamim omrim ze beze ochlo chayav karet. They're both chayav karet. Both of those are chametz. Any crack on the dough is called chametz. Vezu siur. What is the case of siur that's only the Rabbanan? Kol sifu panav. The face became white. You embarrass a guy, his face becomes white. So that's the whiteness we're talking about on the dough.
We're not red.
Red is later.
Before the red.
Before the red is the white. Yeah.
Ça commence à blanc et après ça rouge.
Yeah. Before the red is the white. Kol sifu panav. Shepanav ke'adam she'amdu se'arotav. So it's like a guy that he became startled, embarrassed. His hair stuck up on his arm, something like that. So that's the level. So according to Rabbi Meir, what is the Rabbanan? Is the change of color. Doraita is already cracks, any cracks, individual cracks or intertwined cracks. That is Shitat Rabbi Meir. So again, Rabbi Yehuda, number one is changing color is green, you can eat it. Number two is yellow, where it's the cracks, it's dangerous, it's the Rabbanan. And red is when it's the cracks are intertwined. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir is more machmir. Rabbi Meir says no. Number one is yellow. And number 2 and 3 are both red. Number 1, when change the color, is the Rabbanan, and you can't eat it, but you don't get makot if you eat it. The Gemara says, Tanu Rabbanan, Ezu Seor. So now we're going to be Ezu Seor. So a Braita saying seemingly the same thing. Again, repeating. What is Si'u Koche Sichu Panav? So you see that this is Tanakam. This was Chachamim, and it is Rabbi Meir. So Rabbi Meir said, Kol Sichu Panav. This is Si'u. It's already changing colors. Kadam Shamdu Sarutav. Like his hair is standing up on his body. Siduk. What is siduk? That it's already sudoraita, where there are cracks like a hornet, divrei, or like a locust. Divrei Rabbi Meir. That was the opinion, the second opinion which we said in the Mishnah, which is Rabbi Meir. Chachamim omrim, which now it's Rabbi Yehuda, which was Rabbi Yehuda before. Ezu siur kikarnei chagavim, and he says no. Siur is only level number 2 when there are cracks. Siduk shnitarvu dakav, and what is the one is sudoraita when the cracks are intertwined? Zebazeh. But here Rabbi Yehuda is saying, if you eat both of them, it's chayav karet, and that doesn't say what it says in the Mishnah. So really it's just saying the same thing, because we thought that Rabbi Meir is saying it's karet and both on number 2 and 3. No, it's Rabbi Meir saying karet and both. Amar Rabba, my tama de Rabbi Meir.
This is the way Ish understands the Mishnah, or this is
the mitziyut. This is not how we understand the Mishnah. This is how we understand the qualities.
When we say Rabbi, this is the way they understand the Mishnah, or this is a new?
It's a braita. A braita.
Interpretation of the Mishnah.
It's actually the same thing be repeating in 2 places. For example, in Likutei Moharan, you can have in Torah Zayin Tinyana. It's speaking about the tzaddik, how he works with people, but we're going to see that also in Torah, different Torah, I think, it comes back a few places. So a Braita is in one place and the Mishnah is the same place. It's saying the same thing. They say, just we contradict it. It looked like a little bit of contradiction between the Braita and the Mishnah, so we just brought it up to see, it seems like Rabbi Yehuda is contradicting himself. No, you misread the Braita, it's all the same. So basically, Rabbi Yehuda says, green, yellow, red, and Rabbi Meir says, yellow, red, red. The Gemara says, what is the reason of Rabbi Yehuda? What is the reason of Rabbi Meir? What is the Amar Rabba? My time de Rabbi Meir. Why is Rabbi Meir so machmir? Because a crack on the inside is actually showing you that on the inside of the dough there's many cracks and they're intertwined. The chametz at the outside is the last thing to crack. In the inside, the chametz is already starting. Let's go a little bit more. Amazing Gemara. Amar. Amazing Amar Mentet. Abasa Shechariot Shabbat. So now Friday is Shabbat is Erev Pesach, and Erev Pesach you got to get rid of the chametz. When do you do biur chametz? You can't burn it on Shabbos. So you burn everything on Friday.
That was this year's situation.
Exactly. You burn everything on Friday, and you leave a little bit left where you need to eat. That's what Rashi says. And that's the halakha in fact.
No, this year it fell on Shabbat. So
exactly.
To burn it.
On Thursday.
No, samedi soir. C'est samedi soir. C'est ça.
So Erev Shabbat is Shabbat. Erev Pesach is Shabbat. That's exactly right.
No, Motzei Shabbat is, this year was Motzei Shabbat was Pesach. Erev Shabbat, that means it falls Friday night.
No.
Motzei Shabbat was Pesach.
Yeah, but here is talking on the Erev Shabbat.
Exactly. Erev Shabbat, that's Erev Pesach. Erev Arbasa, Erev Pesach, that falls on Shabbos. Like this year.
Erev Pesach, that falls on Shabbat.
Yeah. Le jour où est-ce qu'on devrait brûler, c'est samedi.
Le Erev
C'est ça.
Pesach,
Donc
il est
on a
Shabbat.
brûlé
On a brûlé
vendredi
vendredi.
matin.
So when do you burn it? You burn it on the Friday. You do it on the Friday and you leave. You leave. Chachamim אומרים בזמנו. Chachamim say no problem. You can do it bismano. There's no problem. What's the reason that you can't do it on Shabbat? Because the only way you can do it is by, like giving people to eat, and there's not enough people who can eat all these chametz. But Chachamim say no, bismano. You can do it on Pesach itself, on Shabbat itself. Eat up the food, throw it in the garbage, throw it in the toilet. Rabbi Eliezer ben Tzadok omer tiruma minifnei Shabbat chunin bismano. So Rabbi Eliezer ben Tzadok says depends. Truma you got to do it before Shabbos because not a lot of people eat truma. But on Shabbat, a lot of people are, bring your food. There's a lot of people like to eat on Shabbos. So regular food, put it on the table, people's going to eat. Don't forget, didn't have cupboards like us, and didn't have freezers like us. What you have is what you're eating for the next few days. So you got some good stuff, bring it out, bring it for the Kiddush. But Truma, there's not a lot of Kohanim. So Kohanim, Truma you got to get rid of on Friday, and the rest you can get on Shabbos. Tanya, Rabbi Eliezer ben Tzadok omer, Pam echat, Shabbat Abi Yavne. Rabbi Eliezer ben Tzadok says, my father, Rabbi Tzadok, once did Shabbos in Yavne. And who was the Rav in Yavne? Rabban Gamliel. V'chad 14 yod b'Shabbat. It was Erev Pesach Shabbos. Uba Zunin mimuneh shel Rabban Gamliel. Zunin, the Talmud, the Shamish of Rabban Gamliel. V'amar igia et levaer et hachametz. The time to burn the chametz has come. והלכתי אחר רבא וביארנו את החמץ, and we went on Shabbos and we got rid of the chametz. We got rid of the chametz on Shabbos. From here we see that actually you are allowed to get rid of it on Shabbos. You might have thought the Mishnah is saying you're not allowed to get rid of chametz on Shabbos. You're allowed. Just good recommendation. It's going to be hard for you. Do it on Friday. But if you didn't do it on Friday, sure, you see over here a case of Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Tzadok that got rid of the chametz on Pesach. Gemara says
On Shabbos.
on Shabbos. ההולך לשחוט את פסחו. A little bit more. We have 5 minutes. Huh? Okay.
No, you can continue.
Yeah. Okay. 5 minutes. ההולך לשחוט את פסחו. So the guy is on the way to do Korban Pesach. למולד בנו. He's on the way to, he's a moel. He's going to do Brit Milah for his son. לאכול את סעודת אירוסין. Or the guy's engaged. Or he's going to an engagement. בבית חמיב. Or he's engaged. He's going now to eat the first Suda in his father-in-law's house. Now it's the 14th of Pesach. Imagine, it's that night of Biur Chametz, and the guy is going to do a mitzvah. He's on the way to a mitzvah, whether it is Seudat Irusin or to do Korban Pesach, whatever it is. If he can go home, get rid of the Chametz, and come back and do his mitzvah, that's what he should do. You know that if you decide in your heart that your chametz is not your chametz, it's actually not your chametz anymore. We make you do 2 things. We make you burn it and we make you do a bittul. But al pi halacha, if you just do a bittul, the guy's stuck in a situation, the guy's in COVID, he's in a coma,
But
he
we
just
you
woke
still
up.
have to burn it no matter what afterwards. You can't buy it back again.
It's not yours.
They can never be yours again.
Yes, you can.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's ownerless. I have here a croissant. This croissant is ownerless. It's not mine. After Pesach, I have a bottle of whiskey, $10,000 bottle of whiskey. The guy's in his, he didn't sell his chametz. He woke up Erev Pesach from COVID. It's Erev Pesach. What am I going to do with the whiskey? I'm mivatel b'libo. It's ownerless. It's not mine anymore.
Doesn't have to talk even.
Mivatel b'libo afilu. In your mind, you decide it's ownerless. Now we say kol chamira v'chamira dikuti. We say it verbally to impress. Why do we say it 3 times? To make sure you verbally recognize what you're saying. You mentally recognize what you're saying verbally. Because if you just say it, sometimes your mind is somewhere else. But if you say it 3 times, 1 of the 3 times, you're going to realize what you're saying, and in your heart, you're going to make a decision. It's not mine. Once it's not yours, no problem. Take it after Pesach. Now that's very dangerous, because if the guy's going to do that, the guy's going to stick around in his house. The father of the house is going to say, "We're not going to sell our chametz. We're going to burn the chametz. Everything is bater. We're going to leave everything in the kitchen. And we're going to go eat downstairs. Some kid's going to go eat some cookies in Pesach." If you have it around, it's a problem. So we make you burn it and we make you do a bittul. Why do you make you do a bittul? In case you forgot. You might have forgot something in the freezer, so you do a bittul. So that's why you do bittul. So here, if you can go do your mitzvah, go burn the chametz, come back, do your mitzvah, do that. But if not, just do a bittul and that's it. The Gemara says, what if you're on the way, latzin min anochim? You're going to save a captive. The goyim are capturing somebody. Uminana, or somebody's drowning. Uminanistim, or stealers. Uminadedeka, you're a fireman. Uminam maporet. There's like rubble and there's somebody trapped underneath. So now you're going to go back. Yivater bilibo. You do it right away bitul. So you see that if it's a mitzvah, that nobody's life is in danger, so try. But if somebody's life is in danger, no time to think about your chametz. Do the bitul and go save the person.
Also, if you miss the mitzvah as well,
Yes. If you're going to miss the mitzvah.
So either mitzvah
Or,
there's a
yeah, but the guy could say, Hatzalah, the guy's having a heart attack. I could still go home and grab the bag, don't go home, do the bittul, forget about chametz and go to do Hatzalah. But what about Rishbot Shvitat Reshut? So now, you know that sometimes a guy wants to make a Tchum Shabbat, like we said in Masechet Eruvin. So you live here, but you want to go here on Shabbos. The Tchum Shabbat ends here. So you're going to go here on Friday, you're going to put yourself over here, you're going to stand here, and then there you're going to have 2,000 amot this way. Remember we spoke about in Masechet Eruvin? So now you're going there, and it's for no good reason. It's reshut. I want to be able to go do some nice thing on Shabbos by my friend's house to hear the Dvar Torah. It's not an obligation. It's a nice thing. It's a good Rav over there. I want to go here. So now it's Shvitat Reshut Yachzor Miyad. No, too bad. Go back and do your chametz. We don't let you You're going for your own good. We do not let you be somech on the bitul.
Because
It's because it's a reshut. It's a reshut. No,
because it's also Shabbat.
it's meaning it's now Erev Shabbat.
Right.
You didn't burn your chametz.
Yeah.
You're going to. So what do? Go home. Too
Have a
bad.
good chill to your friend's house.
Basically, what it's saying over here: if you forgot to burn your chametz and you're on your way to do your own personal needs, too bad. Stop your personal needs. Go burn your chametz. The Gemara says, "V'ken mishat sam Yerushalayim niskar sheyesh b'yado basar kodesh." You know that the meat of the korbanot need to be burned in Jerusalem. They can't be burned somewhere else. If you don't eat them, you got to burn them in Jerusalem. You got to burn them at the Beit HaMikdash usually. So now you're leaving and you realize you had some beef jerky from the Beit HaMikdash. You had a piece of meat from the Beit HaMikdash. Basar Kodesh. Im avar Tzofim. Tzofim is a certain place in Yerushalayim, near Yerushalayim. Sofo. If im avar Tzofim, Sofo bin komo. If you're near Tzofim, you can still see the Beit HaMikdash, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what it says. It's
Yeah.
the furthest point from which the temple is visible.
Very nice. So you're still at the Beit HaMikdash. What does it mean at the Beit HaMikdash? I can see it. If you can see the Beit HaMikdash, you burn it there. From here we see a raya that if you see the Beit HaMikdash, you're at the Beit HaMikdash. If you want to see Tikkun Klali at Rabbenu's Kever, you don't have to touch the Kever.
No,
So long as you see the Kever, you're there. You're there.
From the shoot they used to do.
But see the building or the actual
We don't
kever?
actually
I
see
see-
it.
If you're on the 9th floor at the
I said
Mishkan, you
Tikkun
can see.
Klali on Rosh Hashanah this year from the roof of Rabbi Yifra.
That's what I was
Yeah, but we
asking.
don't see it. You don't actually
You see the roof. That's called seeing the Kever. That's not. You see the place. I hold that it's called seeing the place. And I'll tell you even more how I know that. How do I know that? Because Rabbi Natan told his son, be careful. One time they might not let you go to the Tzion with the communists. Rabbi Natan knew everything. He had to walk rubbish. And he told his son to give him a Sorah. If there ever be a time where you can't get to the Tzion, even from the market, which at the time the market could see the cemetery, you could see a little bit the house over there, because it used to be a house. Where's the Tikkun Klali? It was a house. You see the house, you're at the Kever. You see it, you're there. So say the Tikkun Klali from wherever you are. From here we see it right in the Gemara. You have to burn it at the Beit HaMikdash. You see the Beit HaMikdash, you're there.
ויפגע במקום והיה את המקום מרחוק.
Chazak.
You've seen
Vayared
that.
Magam.
The house was around till when? Like recently? Like till in
1980s.
Right?
No.
1990s. You saw the house?
Yeah.
You saw the house?
Mon père il était là-bas quand la femme elle habitait encore à l'intérieur.
Wow.
En 92 elle était à
Toi aussi, tu as vu la femme?
I saw it.
You saw the woman?
Yeah.
Is
She
it
used to yell at us.
The crazy story with that woman,
She
that
used to yell at us. She used to come out with the broom and
her daughter became crazy. When she was making tzarot to the breast lovers, her daughter became crazy. But Michael Dorfman, I think he went to her and said, listen, if you
Wait,
let us...
what do you mean? There was someone living at the...
Let me explain to you. The Tzion that you look at, listen, show. You know the Tzion, you're on the outside?
Yeah,
There's a little building. What's
Yeah.
that little building?
Yeah.
That was a house.
Uh-huh.
That inside where you go and pray inside, what is that? Who built something like that? That was the house. Now, why is the house built on the side of the kever? Because at a certain point, the communists, they didn't like the breast lovers coming to the kever. What are you guys coming all the time? They couldn't stop the breast lovers. So they destroyed the whole cemetery and they sold houses. It was the cemetery of all the Kushim. There was no, and Jews weren't allowed to buy the house. There was a Ger Tzedek that he still had Goyish papers, and he went and bought the plot where Rabbeinu was. And he built a house over there, but he built it where it was not on top of the kever. So he built the wall here, and the kever's here. So the house over here was a house. With the time, he sold the house, and Kamis Rosh Hashanah, Goy was living in the house. So she had the house with Rabbeinu's kever. So the rest of them, when they first started coming, they started to come in 1990s, outside of her house. She's like, what are you doing here? She'll get a dog. Get out of here. You're making me crazy.
They used to they used to light candles on her windows.
And
she
she
would
was-
go crazy because the curtains would go
Exactly. Now they used to pay her a little bit of money. But at a certain point, her daughter went crazy. She was making tzavot. Her daughter lost her mind. And I think it was Rabbi Michael Dorfman. He said, listen, if you let us come for Rosh Hashanah, you let us pray, we're going to pray for her. She said, okay. They came in, they prayed for her. She became normal, like this. From that moment on, she let them alone, and she would give them, and she would put a bench there. She would give them water for Netilat Yadayim. It's a crazy story.
Wow.
Yeah, there's another story with that. Has something over there. Where I think the craziness was that every day they heard somebody coming into the house. Like I can't remember, but I think she lost her mind because as if every day somebody's opening her door in the house and coming in, and she's looking, there's nobody there. It was pedant. Anyways, that's what we see over here in the Mishnah. The Gemara continues. But if not, im avat sufim, sofom bimkomo, vim lav, yarzor, im lav chozer v'sofo lifnei habira me'atzei ha'maracha. What do you mean im avat sofim? If you passed it, sham kvar she'yochal lirot bet hamikdash
Can't see
misham.
anymore.
Sofo, bimkom lo yitrehu לחזור, my mistake. If you passed sofim, maybe I'm making a mistake. Tell me what it says here. I understood it means if you see, you can burn it forever. But it says
The
if
law
you
is
pass
follows.
Sofim,
If you pass Sofim,
you got to come back.
he burns
to
it where he is. But if
we don't make you come
but
back.
if he has not passed Sofim, he should have returned to Jerusalem and burned it before the Birah with the wood of the altar of fire.
So it depends. Yeah, so everything erase what I just said.
If you're within, before
Yeah, so basically Sofim, you have to go back.
You basically just said.
So it's not a right. What I'm saying is not a right. I thought I made a mistake.
So if you pass Sofim, you have to come back. But if you're before,
If you pass Sofim, you don't have to come back. We don't make you come back.
That's right. But if you're still within,
If you're with Sofim, you got to go back.
You have to come back.
Okay. That kama and chozin. So how much meat are we talking about that you come back? Rabbi Meir Omer zeh v'zeh. So what I said by seeing the Beit HaMikdash is not true. It's still true for Bresla, but not true. The Gemara says ve'od kama and chozin. Rabbi Meir Omer zeh v'zeh v'kabitza. So how much do you have to go back for chametz, or how much do you have to go back for basar of kodesh? So the Gemara says Rabbi Yehuda says Rabbi Meir Omer kabetza, a kabetza which is about 27 grams. Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Sorry, kabetza is more. It's about 52, 56 grams. Rabbi Yehuda Omer zeh v'zeh b'kazai 27. Chachamim אומרים בשר קודש בכזית, the meat of the korban kazai, hametz b'kabetza, and chametz with a kabetza. We have 3 more minutes. I'll stop here.
Wow.
Have a great day. Chazak bo.